UFC 309, and we are back. Yes, right. Ash and I are going to be running through 309, Jones versus Miocic breakdown over here at the ATF channel. This is a fight we've been waiting for quite a while. It's been postponed, it's been pushed back, and it's been debated. This is the fight which we wondered whether we even wanted to see after all. But let's be honest, you do. You do. Ash, how you doing, geez?
Yes, I'm doing fantastic, mate. Yeah, I can't wait to break this one down. Lots of ifs and buts, like you just mentioned there. But the fight's finally happening. Well, hopefully it does. Obviously, we're a couple of days out. You never know. Obviously, Tom Aspinall has been sort of there and putting his hindrance about. So, could you imagine? But yeah, we're here to break this one down. I can't wait to get into it. But yeah,
absolutely. We're going to go through the whole entire card from, or the main card from start to stop, and we're going to be using these gauges right here. These gauges are ways of looking at striking, grappling, power, speed, and cardio of each of the fighters. Ash, I lost your feed for a second.
Yeah, I'm coming back. It's all right, I'm coming back.
But
I will come back.
The idea of this is to not show you what to think, but show you how to think. So we're going to look at who's got the advantage out of each of these, and bring back up the card here. We're going to, as I said, we're going to go from the top of the main card down to the very bottom.
Here.
Now, something peculiar about this card, it's the card which a lot of people were rating quite low for a main card. For some with Jones on, actually, of this kind of caliber. I think the ratings we got through this week on social media was pretty abysmal. What about you?
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm trying to get my feedback, but yeah, exactly that. I thought it was quite of a low kind of score.
Sixes,
for this
5s
fight
out
card.
of 10. What did you give it?
Yeah, I gave it a 7.5.
7.5 out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, respectable.
And that's purely because of the co-main event, to be honest.
Because of the co-main event.
Yeah.
Valid. I gave it actually like an 8 but in all honesty, there's only 5 fighters that I'm excited to see out of 10 fighters on this main card. Do you know what I mean? I say that.
Yeah.
I recently learned a bit about this Ruffy guy. So that might be 6.
Yes, he's one of the fighting nerds. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He came out in his debut and he looked pretty slick. In fact, to a point, I thought, you know what? This guy might be worth a watch. However, does he warrant being on the main card while you got someone like Weidman and Miller on the prelims?
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's an argument to be had. You guys at home, what you saying? Share some love, share some chats. Let us know where you are at and what you're up to at this point in time, and what your thoughts are on this card. If you haven't rated yet, let us know out of 10 what you think this card will be. And I'm sure I'd have Ash right back in the feed as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'm just trying to. My Zoom's froze, but you got my audio. If you want to switch to a solo screen, you can do.
Are you using your World War II?
No, I'm not. I'm using my actual laptop. Yeah. No, I'm actually using my laptop. I don't know what's going on, mate. It froze earlier, and now it's doing it again.
What is going on? You camera shy, Ash. You camera shy.
Breeze is in. No. Breeze is in the chat. Oh, my punching in the chat. Welcome in, boys. Welcome in.
Yes, Breezy. What's up? What is good?
Right.
What is good?
Have you got a solo screen or anything? Or
let's have a look. I might have. I do have a solo screen, but I don't know if I got a chat.
Okay, just
one. So they might show up, they might not show up, and I could just talk to the camera.
Yeah, just whack that in, and I'll give you just talk about the first fight while I sort this out.
Yeah, go on. You fix yourself up, Keys. But we're going to get into the first fight in the card. I'm going to go back to the screen just so you guys get to see what I'm looking at as well. But we're going to go storming into the lightweight bout, lightweight division. And right here we've got Mauricio Ruffy, and he's up against James Llontop. Blue corner, you got 14-4-0, and in red corner, you got 10-1. Again, one of the fighting nerds. It's Mauricio Ruffy, who's fighting out of Brazil. The guy is talented. He's slick. He's a kind of long-range striker. Then you've got someone from Peru in the blue corner. This is Llontop, and he is your punch brawler. He doesn't have too much exciting movement, but he shields up, takes your strikes, and then he dishes out some of his own as well. So for this particular matchup, I thought, hey, do you know what? It's not too bad. You know, I saw this guy perform. Ash, are you still there by any chance, or have you gone? Boy?
I'm still here, yeah.
Blimey. Well, okay. So anyway, yeah. So I thought it's not too bad because this Ruffy guy, I saw him perform in his debut when he came out. He was relatively exciting. But with the Llontop guy, I am not entirely sure how that Mauricio fight was a split decision. I was confused. I thought Llontop seemed a little bit slow, and Mauricio was the better boxer. Nonetheless, he did lose it, but I just don't understand how it was so marginally close. It should have been a unanimous, in my opinion, anyway. But on this fight, and I'll quickly jump into Ruffy now. Is the hype, legitimate? Would you say, Ash, for someone like Ruffy? He's coming from the Fight Disciples. We've seen his talent before in his debut. Was it just a little bit of is it? Do you reckon he could be potentially fraud checked in any particular way, or do you think the hype is legitimate? And this is probably where I spend the show talking to myself. Ash, I take it you've gone. I can't hear anything. Hung out to dry, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? He was a great corner man once upon a time on the Sunday when I was fighting. He was great with a towel, great in my corner. But when I need him in my corner right now, he's nowhere to be seen. Ash, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm back now.
Oh, he's back. He is back. What happened? All good?
I don't know what's going on,
still
man.
Got issues still not showing?
Yeah, it just keeps freezing.
Well, no worries. We don't worry about it. So look, what I was saying earlier, Ash, was like, if you're sat there wondering, what's this fight doing on the main card, then no one's going to blame you. This Llontop guy is 2-0 in the UFC, right? Wildman Miller sitting in the prelims, and this guy's getting a shot on the main card with John Jones, the GOAT, supposedly.
Yeah.
Interesting. Scratch your head a little bit for me. So do you think the UFC are sending him to a slaughter, do you reckon? Or do you think the fact that the kid doesn't have a win probably means there's going to be some kind of fireworks up his ass to come out and do something impressive?
Yeah, no, exactly. I think they're building this guy up for disaster, really. I think they're obviously hyping up Ruffy.
Yeah.
Like you said, he's one of them fighting nerds. Obviously, there's a lot of hype behind all of them guys, isn't there? So, yeah, I definitely think they're sort of putting him on this main card just to hype up Ruffy, yeah.
Yeah, look, we can move along pretty swiftly this one as well, I think. But I thought particularly this Llontop guy's strikes were pretty slow, easily telegraphed as well. He stepped in every time he threw a shot, which can be easily telegraphed and easily read, especially for a disciple like Ruffy. But yeah, look, a little bit pedestrian, if I may. Ruffy, on the other hand, yeah, like
join on my phone, man.
It's there. We've seen it. How do you think him and the disciples have charted a path to victory in this one tonight? Do you reckon he's going to be taking it to the ground or using his leg kicks? How do you think he'll get it done against?
He's got some great striking. Ruffy does. If you can still hear me.
Yeah, because yeah.
Yeah, Ruffy's got some great striking. So he sets up his striking so well. He's very explosive for one, and two, just very artistic in his striking. So yeah, very excited to see him. What he's got to showcase on the night.
Yeah, I reckon we could probably see a bit of a counters game. Make him miss, make him pay, sort of thing. Step in, parry, probe, that jab. Sometimes a jab from Llontop, I noticed, doesn't necessarily come out too hard and fast. So if Ruffy's catching that one, he can really be right in the pocket for a devastating counter. So perhaps he could do something like that. But I'll give you guys a quick look on the grappling gauges. We don't have a lot of data on these guys, but they do look like solid stand-up strikers between the two of them. Let's get those gauges up, see what the advantages lie for each of these guys on either side of the table. So striking, I would give that to, I don't know if you would agree, but Ruffy.
Yeah, I agree, mate. Yeah.
Agree with that? Okay, what about grappling? I reckon on paper it doesn't give us obvious who that belongs to, but I would also say Ruffy.
Yeah, same. Right, I'm just going to restart my Zoom for one last time, mate.
All right, cool.
1 sec.
In that case, lovely people of YouTube, you're stuck with me. When Ash gets back, I do hope he'll get the chats as well. Actually, I'll have a quick look. I see who's in the chat, so I can probably get a few up. I'll do it after this. Power. In the chats, let me know who you think the power needs to go to. I, myself, think that would be Ruffy, but there's no reason why I couldn't give that to Llontop either. I might need some numbers to back this one up. Yeah, look at that. 100% of Ruffy's wins are by knockout. So, but right here, as it says. So, it looks like to me, Ruffy's going to get power as well. Yeah, look at that. This could be a 100%, guys. Speed. Yep, I'm going Ruffy on speed. Cardio. Ruffy's going to get power. 100%, guys. Speed. Yep, I'm going Ruffy on speed. Cardio. Ash, you all right? Yeah. Ash?
Yeah.
Why am I hearing myself back?
I've got no idea.
What is?
John's in there as well.
Through. You have an absolute mare, mate. What have you done?
I don't know. Every time I load up Zoom, it just crashes.
But it was working before.
Yeah, it was. We were sat in the Zoom earlier and it was fine. And now Showtime, it does this.
Strange.
Is JK in there or?
No, I don't see him. I don't see him. You got the chat there, haven't you? On your side. Okay, cool.
I'll try and join him. I'll join in on my phone 1 sec.
That's a good shout. Yeah, do that. Yeah, good fix. Good find. Good solution finder, mate. No, I'll rate that. All right, guys at home.
Sorry.
Do you agree with that? Is it going to be an absolute landslide? Do you think? Let's see what I can get here on the chats. We have Breezy saying S&D bomb of a laptop. Yeah, it's search and destroy laptop. You know the one, Breezy. Ash is definitely rocking that thing out. It's an absolute brick. Still has its own landline tethered to a telephone pole outside, 400 miles down the road. And then we've got Ultimate Punch, and he says, I think Ruffy's across the board. Yeah, look, he's siding me on that as well. Ergo says Breezy or Eco. But yeah, he seems to think the same as well. It makes sense, right? I don't think we need to spend much more time on this matchup. Ruffy gets it in my humble opinion. All right. So what's coming up next? Next up, we've got JK in the house. No way. Absolutely love that. Coming on through, saving the day. Just gotta work the focus and get your sound in, and yeah. But isn't that beautiful? Jordan's turning up. He's like, you know what? I can't sit at home and watch this. Let me get in the fight. Brilliant. We're going. Yes, you're there. I can't hear you yet, though. Can't hear you yet. Just to get back into the second fight in the car, but do when you do get here.
Sorry. Yeah, I am here. Sorry. I just realised I hadn't switched everything over properly, but we should be all good.
Sound is there. You just got your autofocus tracking you, but aside from that, kind of look like I'm a homing missile.
There we go. Is that better?
Nailed it.
I can't see myself for some reason. I tried to hide it. I don't know why I did that, but
valid.
But we're here.
But yeah, we're looking at Viviane Ruggiero at the moment. To be fair,
okay.
We're seeing how these girls are going to be matching up. This is the women's flyweight division, and in the red corner you got 12-6-0, then in the blue corner 18-4. Now this is a pretty I don't know how to describe it, but it's a good matchup. Okay, let's look at Araújo first, right? So from one Silva to another, because she just fought De Silva prior to this one, and let's hope she can probably strike gold in this time round. That's what she's thinking. I think she's really struggled with the feints of the hypermobility of Natalia Silva in the last fight. And the wrestling heavy game plan was important in order to neutralize the moving target. So do you think she wrestles again tonight against someone like Silva, who, of course, is quite a self-esteemed wrestler? Look at the finishes he's had in a recent record. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I think Natalia Silva's biggest threat is going to be on the ground, and Araújo seems to kind of, she trusts in her overall skill set in every area, and she will kind of look to take the fight where her opponent is weakest. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to kind of succeed against Natalia Silva in doing that. She thought that she'd have the upper hand on the ground, but Natalia Silva was just too kind of quick for her. On the feet, just kind of got lit up the whole time. She chased her down for most of the fight, and was just constantly being like a punching bag in a way. Against Karine Silva, though, she's going to want to pretty much strike.
Yeah.
I see her coming on with that forward pressure as she did before, but I think she'll have the speed advantage perhaps over Karine Silva, who has got some good striking. Don't get me wrong, not on the level of Natalia Silva.
Yeah.
But I think it's a very close contest on the feet, I believe.
Yeah, and look, you're right. It is striking. It's there or thereabouts, right? It's not terrible. It's not bad, but she's got this kind of striking where she doesn't care about getting too close or getting taken down because she's just going to be in her domain anyway. So she's a fearless striker in that sense. But yeah, you're right. Where Araújo had used the wrestling ability to nullify that movement of Natalia Silva last time out, she might not want to do that against this Karine Silva. But you know,
Mm.
will be. I would say Karine will probably be carrying all the momentum coming into this fight anyway, because like I mentioned earlier, right, 9-fight win streak, 8 of which by a finish. Super impressive in any women's division, to be honest, and she's second best, if not the best, at takedown percentages in where she's at. So you can trust she's probably going to want to control she's going to want to take it there in this one as well. But the only question you can ask, I think, if you're looking at her stats, is she's finished 18 out of her 22 bouts. Sorry, do you think she gets another one on the night?
It's difficult, really, because I mean, yeah, she's been absolutely smoking girls. She did take Irene Lipski, or now Irene Lipski de Silva, to a decision in a fight where I felt like I respected Lipski's ground defense more so after seeing it, and I thought Lipski was more of a kind of a stand-up striker, but she showed good defense, and I could very well see almost the same from Araújo in this. So I'm not sure if she's capable of submitting Araújo, because Araújo, if I'm rightly saying, is not being submitted.
No, she's
been knocked out once, and she's lost 5 times by decision. So if you're a picker or a betting man, you're probably going to go with Karine Silva by a decision in this.
But
she's
50-50 in decision. She's 50-50. She's won one, she's lost one. We don't know. She hasn't really historically done well out there. Araújo been knocked out before?
Araújo once, yeah. She was stopped by. Hang on, I had it here a second ago. Excuse me. Very early on in her career, like her 4th fight against a girl called Sarah Frotter. So she's not been stopped since, which was 2017.
I feel like, yeah. Look, Karine Silva, sorry, as high as she goes up the rankings, is less likely she's going to be finding those clean finishes as she has been historically, I guess.
Yeah.
But I'm still impressed with her ability to finish girls left, right, and center, and I don't think that ability stops at number. What are we looking at? 9 in the division.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If she stops Araújo, I think a lot of people don't realize that. Yes, this is legit the next contender to come through in this division. Because if you stop Araújo when a lot of girls weren't able to do so, then you are coming through. You are the next one, and you deserve a lot of hype to your name, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, like, does she have that already, or does she need to do this job in order to get that status? I think she's like she's the next. She's it. She is she. You know, she's that girl. She's just got to come on through a little bit more, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like her. I think her skill set's really good, and I've enjoyed watching her fights. But I prefer Natalia Silva, I think, as a prospect that's coming through the rankings.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do.
All about it. Fair enough. Yeah, and look, it's she does like to get the job early, isn't she? But if we learn anything from her last fight, Ariana, she can be a threat from bell to bell as well. Against Ariana de Silva, Silva knows how to hold her hands even throughout. Yeah, so maybe she does get a decision on this one. Let's have a look at the gauges and find out who wins this on the cards then. So when you look at striking, which is, I mean, I could go straight to grappling and say I want to give it to Silva, hands down. But striking, where she's good, is she going to be good enough?
I think Araújo's got some good Muay Thai, and I think she can probably edge it on the feet here. I feel like her striking is going to be a lot quicker than Karine's. So I'd probably give striking to Araújo, and probably speed to Araújo. Power's a difficult one, I think.
So Araújo gets striking, and I can side with that, I think. But then power, do you have to look at who's got most knockouts?
I mean, mostly it's the TKO victories that Karine Silva has had in her career. I want to say are probably mostly ground and pound. One of them was an arm, but injury, punches. Yeah, so they all come from being in a ground position. I wouldn't necessarily give her complete power. Yeah, I didn't actually take power into consideration when doing homework last night, to be honest, on this fight.
But I think Karina's got it.
Yeah. I don't know, guys. I reckon in the chats, if you help us out, if you've got an opinion on this particular fight, yeah, maybe we should have kept some closer look on this. But I'd cut cardio wise. I want to give Araújo at the moment. She's gone the distance most times.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been known to fade at times in her fights, and it's probably the reason why she's clearly lost decisions. It's just we've not really had too much data from Karine Silva, apart from obviously that last fight against Lipski.
Yeah, it's been a limited amount, hasn't it? Okay, so we can then say power goes to... Oh, they've all come off the screen, but power goes to Silva, speed goes to Araújo, cardio goes to Araújo. Would you address it that way too? Yeah,
sorry, I'm trying to see this and behind time now. I need the visuals. Yeah, I'd probably say that, which is crazy, but not necessarily means that she's going to get it done on the night, of course. Don't get me wrong, I think she is capable of upsetting the apple cart here because she did it against Jennifer Maia, and I thought Jennifer Maia was going to walk through her completely in that fight.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just been me that's been undermining Araújo's skills in a lot of ways. But yeah, my overall pick, I think, like I said, decision to Karine Silva. I think that's what I'm going with. Yeah, I don't know what you guys reckon in the chats. We've got a few chats in it. Unfortunately, I can't ping them up. Unless you want to grab the link from me.
Oh yeah, you'd have to send it again. Yeah, feel free to send it.
I'll send it via Zoom chat.
I'll get it up there. Meantime, I'll go back to the.
I'll send it via the Zoom chat so you can pop it in. I'll just read them off for now. So Breezy said, I think so. I haven't seen enough of Llontop, if I'm honest. Yeah, I mean, I watched one fight of his. He's very sort of keeps everything close knit and tight. Walks forward, barely any signs of backing up. So I think that's probably what he would want to do against a very tough Ruffy. Ruffy. He's in the house.
Yes, Raff.
Yes, Raff. Good to see you in the building, brother. Let us know some picks and predictions for this coming weekend. Be good to see what you've got, and whether or not you stick with them come fight night, of course, and compete with us at this weekend UFC 309 watch along. We've got the league table going off. We've only got 4 weeks left of that, so yeah, get your picks in now. And Ash saying, thanks for that, JK. Not sure what happened there. I mean, issues arise, but we, try and act quick as we can over here on Against the Fence. And
Mate,
I didn't mean to.
I can't tell how happy I was to see your face.
Spotlight.
Like, that's not Ash. JK. Yes.
To be honest, I saw the issues, and I joined, and I saw Ash was in twice. And I was like, oh, okay, he's managed to join via his phone. So I ducked out, and then I continued watching, which was like 30 seconds behind, and then realized he was still struggling. I was like, do I not? And then I was like, okay, I'm in now. That's it.
On the stream, your name is Ash on the stream for now, but
that's fine.
We live with it.
Yeah, we'll roll with it. It's fine. Cool. Where are we at? So we moved on to
so the next fight on the card. We're looking about Bo Nickal now, and we're talking about Paul Craig as well. And in the red corner, Bo Nickal's undefeated, right? 6-0. It's crazy. I feel like he's had more wins for that, but each one of his finishes, each one of his fights, just been absolutely phenomenal. And then you got 17-8-1 for Paul Craig. And something I would say for Paul Craig in the blue corner, isn't this just the kind of I want to swear, but the fight that he wins? This is just the kind of fights which he shouldn't win, but he does. Because when has it happened before? Jamal Hill.
Yeah. 100%.
And
Do you
Kalaev.
know what? I was doing
This is
tape
what
on
Paul
this
Craig
literally a
does.
matter of hours ago, and like watching their performance. I watched Paul Craig's last 2 performances, and I watched Bo Nickal's one against Brundage.
Yeah.
And Bo Nickal had some hard times against Brundage in that fight. This is a huge step up, and there's no disrespect to Cody Brundage.
Yeah.
But Paul Craig is up there in terms of talent-wise. This is such a huge step for Bo Nickal. I would not be surprised if we get an upset and Paul Craig walks away with the victory.
Speaking it.
I'm not going to lie.
You're speaking it.
And yeah, okay, Paul Craig is falling on hard times. I think he's got 1 win in his last 5 or whatever it is, right? And yes, he did get finished by Carvalho. But Carvalho is very well-rounded. And one thing we learned in that fight is Carvalho can crack, and he's got some great boxing as well. And that's basically what damaged Paul Craig in that fight is because he went to the body with the kick too often. And it led to Bahalio timing his strikes to a T. And that's how he was able to stop Craig. He didn't need to take Craig down. He didn't want to entertain the grappling with Paul Craig. And we know, and we've seen Bahalio be a problem in the wrestling department in previous fights. Bo Nickal, he's fresh into the MMA game. His wrestling is phenomenal, of course, and he's got some jits. He's a blue belt. He's done some submission grappling, of course, and shone in that area. But the wrestling is his only strong point in this.
So you think it's a bit of a rude awakening for Bo Nickal? So yeah, but you know, here's the thing, right? Paul Craig has a very unique style. He lets you think you're winning, and then he just completely flips it on you. You know, and it's almost a bit possum. It's a little bit kind of like he's a sneaky little beep. But you know, with Bo Nickal, what does he have to look out for most of all? Does he just have to remain measured and try not to get a finish early on? Because you try to finish Craig, you put yourself in compromising positions. If you do something like Uzdemir did, which was just touch him to completion, and just stay measured, you can easily pick up a decision on the guy. Do you think that Bo Nickal will fall into a trap by trying to get the job done, as he's always done before?
That's what I'm worried about. Really, it is how well Paul Craig can be effective off of his back. However, if Bo Nickal can be quick in scrambles and take the back of Paul Craig, I think that's going to be his strongest area in this. He did take a little while to get that submission against Cody Brundage, and Brundage, was able to survive for some periods of time until Bo Nickal eventually got the squeeze. But for Paul Craig, I think if Bo Nickal was to get the finish, it would be rear naked choke, but it would be late on in the fight. I think when fatigue starts to settle in, and don't forget, Paul Craig's had to cut quite a bit of weight, and he's a vegan as well. So I don't know if his body's getting the same nutrients. Yeah,
but some people say
look, I'm no nutritionist.
Eating green, you can still be quite lean.
Yeah, and he does look really good. To be fair, body wise, 100%. But I don't know if that weight cut's gonna have an effect as the fight draws along.
Yeah, valid. Well, in which case, let's have a look at see how this all looks on the gauges, shall we? Between these two brutish lads, striking. Who's gonna get the advantage there? Would have to say Bo Nickal. He's got the reach advantage. No, he doesn't. It's all the same. Pretty much on par.
I'd give speed to Bo Nickal 100%, but I think that Paul Craig might best him in striking.
Yeah, Paul Craig might.
If Paul's a bit more smarter and doesn't go too much,
I would go to
that body kick.
Then Bo Nickal will go on power. Give power to Bo Nickal.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to give Bo Nickal cardio too, but he hasn't really proven it to us, and I have seen Paul Craig gas.
Yeah. The cardio is a very difficult one.
Yeah, because I feel like Bo Nickal's not confirmed nor denied that. But
I think just because of Bo Nickal's heavy wrestling style, I think that comes with insane cardio in itself, in terms of what's taxing the most.
So who gets grappling?
So I'd kind of want to edge cardio, and grappling wise, I mean, look, it's one guy's going to be extremely tough on top. One of them's going to be extremely tough bottom, because Paul Craig, as we know, is he welcomes being on bottom. You know, that's his
That's where he
playground.
makes most of his money.
But I can see Bo just being too strong on top in a way, and I would kind of want to give grappling to Bo.
He won't be too.
I mean,
afraid to
it's
go down
50.
in a guard.
It can be 50-50 or 60-40.
So if we did
for Bo,
if we did that, it's basically Paul Craig gets striking, Bo Nickal gets everything else.
yeah,
yeah. I'll probably
no, which is crazy.
I'll probably put grappling with Paul Craig differently to that, but the rest of it I'd sit the same. Just because also I know with Paul Craig, I don't see him getting it done with the striking, but I do see him being able to get it done in the grappling exchange. Should Bo Nickal make a tiny mistake? No.
Possible.
Potentially.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it would come down to a Bo Nickal mistake if it was. You're right. If
all right,
Paul Craig gets the job done, but look, I
tough one though, isn't it?
I'd be inclined to put a cheeky bet on. I know. I'd be inclined to put a cheeky bet on Paul Craig. I would.
Oh, really? Yeah, if you're the better man, you would do that.
Know.
And let's have a look at those odds. Let's find out how outrageous. Yeah, minus 1,100 for the big underdog, that is. The big favourite, sorry, that is Bo Nickal. And plus 700 for the underdog, which is Paul Craig. Wild in, man. Wild in. But we're into the co-main event now. But out of bed. On the night though, would you be going Paul Craig or would you be going Bo Nickal?
Oh, I don't know. I'm tempted, you know. I really am, because I'm thinking there could be an upset on this card. You know, we've all been like, oh, what if Stipe gets the upset against Jones? You know, that'd be insane to see, and that'd be absolute shock. Yeah. I think there will be a shock on this card. But if we looked at the main card across the whole thing, what's the most likely shock that we're going to get? In a way, I kind of want to say that Michael Chandler getting the win against Charles Oliveira could be the most shock, because I'm assuming that Oliveira is going to be favourite coming into this.
Yeah.
Haven't already beaten Chandler. But that was a very kind of close fight.
He is a favourite, yeah.
Oh. So, yeah, in that case, I'm going to go Bo decision, and then maybe there could be an upset. Chandler beats Oliveira.
You foresee a riot. I foresee a riot.
I do.
I foresee a riot. All right, cool. All right. So in the co-main event, here we go. It's a lightweight bout between Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler. He's back. Michael Chandler is no longer waiting in queue for the Conor McGregor, which is the gift that never gives. Is one way you could describe him. But yeah, in that red corner, you got 34-10-0 with 1 no contest. That's your boy Charles Oliveira, veteran as he is. And in the blue corner, 23-8-0, and that's Michael Chandler. Big difference between these guys is a slightly difference in height, but reach would be massively on Charles Oliveira's side. We're looking at number 2 and number 7 in the division. Big opportunity for Michael Chandler, but he is due and owed all the credits he can get for waiting so long for a disappointment that never really came to fruition. And at the same time, do you think it was right for him to get back in there, or do you think he should have still waited out for the cash cow?
Fighters get itchy knuckles, you know. At the end of the day, I feel like perhaps the UFC forced his hand a little bit there. I think he was probably willing to wait out for the McGregor fight for as long as it took.
Is this the best alternative? I mean, it's like, if it's not Conor McGregor, then give me gold.
It seems like for him. I mean, especially with Oliveira, who was tapped to get the rematch with Islam Makhachev. That didn't materialize. Then he fell short against Arman Sarukian. So if you look at it from Chandler's perspective, you get to avenge a loss. And if Islam beats Sarukian, who's next on that list?
Yeah.
It could be very well be Michael Chandler.
Oh, I hear
If he
you.
was to take Oliveira's ranking. That's what I'm thinking. I think that's how the UFC probably laid it out to him
Yeah.
when they wanted to move on from the Conor McGregor fight. I think they probably looked at him and went, look, fans aren't really too interested in this fight now. It's been like 2 years in the making. Conor's got all these legal problems as well that's going on. Here's Charles Oliveira. And I think Michael Chandler is a company man as well.
He is.
And I don't think he hesitated much.
Yeah, no,
I
agree. I really do think he is. So how do you think this fight gets done then? Do you reckon it's going to look much like the first time out? Oliveira is going to be hot on the hands, going to get a TKO fairly early on? Or do you think there's going to be a bit more ducking and weaving from Michael Chandler getting inside and using some of his own wrestling to mix up the onslaught?
Yeah, that first fight was a very high pace, and I feel that maybe perhaps both men might want to pull back on that a little bit now. I feel that it will go the distance this time. And I also feel like we've seen the best of Charles Oliveira, you know.
Yeah, well, that's something.
He looked good against Sarukian, and after that fight, I said, look, okay, Sarukian didn't completely go out there and finish Charles.
No, split decision.
To
Close.
Yeah, it was a split decision, but I felt that Sarukian just edged it against a very good Oliveira in that fight. I thought he did show up in that one, but I still do believe that we've seen the best of Oliveira.
Wow.
In previous fights, though. So I don't know. You look at him now,
and he's still there. That fight against Sarukian wasn't. It's not like he's washed away. He's washed up. We've seen the best, and his best was even as of late. It wasn't like 4 years ago. The best of him was like his last fight. Is that what would you concur, or would you say that the best of him was like 3-4 fights ago?
Oh, it was a few fights ago, at least when we saw him take out Poirier, Gaethje. I think that was the best
one.
Charles Oliveira since losing to Islam. All right, okay, he fought well. The finish against Beneil Dariush was impressive. I must admit, but yeah, I just feel like there's not really much else for Charles
Oliveira. Yeah,
out there.
Hey, look,
as long as Islam holds the belt,
very day. And look, I'm quite excited by the prospect of Chandler getting a second shot at this and thinking about what he needs to be doing differently if he wants to get a different outcome. I think he does need to start pressing for some of the wrestling interaction and then breaking off and using his hands. It helps him get close. It helps him get on the inside. But he could be dangerous to get on the outside with Charles Oliveira. The current Charles Oliveira, I think, could easily catch Chandler again. In which case, what was this all for in the first place? It's just going to really stalemate the division if he doesn't get the win. I really would want Chandler to get this win this time around, just because it does so much to the top of that division that, you know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm just going to bring up the rankings now just so I'll have a look. Yeah, exactly. Chandler would move into number 2. Yeah. Or no, he wouldn't, because Gaethje already beat him. So surely he doesn't leapfrog Poirier and Gaethje.
He might just.
I think Charles takes a big...
Given the things that he's had to endure at the hands of the UFC and Conor McGregor, he might just.
I think that you put Gaethje in at number 2, Poirier in number 3, and then Chandler just sitting at number 4. And
where would you put Charles?
5? 5, I reckon.
He beat Poirier.
Of course.
So that's also good.
What? Oh, rankings guys got all this messed up.
You know what I mean? It's like, what? But I think you might actually have to put Chandler above him. You know, he's endured quite enough having to wait for the UFC's and the contract he's been tied up in. They might do this because it feels like some feathers and it creates excitement.
It does. It creates drama, and the UFC will love this drama that comes out of it if Michael Chandler gets the win. You put him in at number 2, and then he's clearly next in line, and then I don't know.
I mean, here's the
Is
thing
it
with
a
Michael
big
Chandler.
fight, Islam Chandler?
He's been saying I see you at the top for the longest time, but I ain't seen him at the top for the longest time. So,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, when am I going to see you up there, bro?
It's true. It is true.
It's about now. It's about time I start seeing him at the top. All right, just getting those gauges and see how this one matches up. Then scores on the boards. I think striking. We saw it before. It was Charles.
Yeah, hands down.
Grappling. I think Charles got the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu accolades that could get Chandler into trouble, but I do think Chandler would use it more to his advantage in this fight. The grappling and wrestling.
Chandler's defense was good in that first fight. To be fair, you know, when he was escaping the back mount, but yeah, it was Charles that was giving the most problems in that fight. Hands down, has got to go to grappling, and then power. Oh, what happened?
I'm still here though. You can still hear me, right?
Oh, you're still here. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just
The screens are just gone. Yeah, my head's. If I just like go upwards like this, like that, people might be able to see me a little bit better. There you go. You see my face a bit better. I can't hold this position for too long though, mind you.
Oh, damn it! Where's my?
What was I going to say? Yeah, I would probably give Chandler power and maybe cardio to Oliveira as well, because okay, I can pop that down there now. Yeah, I could probably go Oliveira cardio purely because I do think Chandler did fade. I mean, look, Chandler throws with volume, man. He puts on a pace, and I think that is probably doesn't help him in a lot of ways as well, especially in that third round. And I think that's where the third round where Charles had bested him, or was it the second round he finished him? It was Christ. Second round. So it was the second round, but he folded him. Yeah, no, I still want to give cardio to
Goes
Oliveira.
to. You think that would be Charles then?
Yeah, I kind of want to go speed as well. Charles. This one's quite difficult, really. I've not yet rewatched that fight back, so it makes it even harder for me to decide. But that will come tomorrow. I was planning on doing that tomorrow. Are you back with us?
Just about.
Really? What do you guys reckon in the chat? Smash a like on the video if you've not done so already. Going to Ash's comment earlier about Paul Craig striking, he wouldn't give Paul Craig striking. He'd give it to Bo Nickal. That's quite surprising. Bo Nickal's striking isn't
that's gonna make it.
Isn't the best. I know he caught what's his name really well.
That works. It's a bit jarring.
His debut. There we go. That works.
All right, cool. Just gonna fill this in real quickly. Then we had grappling over for Charles. Power we had Charles. Sorry, grappling Chandler. Speed was Chandler. Cardio was sorry, I'm getting it mixed up. I mean red corner, Charles and Chandler, getting it mixed up. But yeah, otherwise we just had Chandler for the grappling, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
Oh no. I gave power to Chandler and grappling to Charles.
But it was Charles who knocked him out last time.
I know. I know it was defense against offense in that last fight.
I think in that same fight as well, I did say Chandler would have power, but then it was Oliveira that obviously used it.
I know.
Very well.
I thought it was more or less Oliveira's precision, if anything.
What do you guys think in the chat? Would you side with that?
Both
if
guys
we put power over in Chandler's corner.
Yeah, both can crack to some degree.
Yeah.
Very difficult though. But yeah, on the night though, I want to say an upset.
Whoa. And the upset would be Chandler getting it done.
Yeah, a decision. Which baffles me because Chandler's just gonna be on the gas from the get-go, win round one, then drop off if anything.
Sounds like a
And
Chandler thing to do.
I'm like, I know it does, but you know, I feel like there is an upset in this card, and that's the one. I'm afraid I'm still sticking with. I'm adamant. I'm like, there is 100% going to be an upset on this card, and it's going to be one of those three fights.
Whoa. The top three, like the top three which I'm most excited to see.
Yeah, either Bo Nickal, Paul Craig fight, co-main or main. There's going to be an upset. Yeah.
Valid.
Oh, Brother
All right.
B's in the house. He says, just got out of school. Hello from Dallas.
Who's that?
Hello, Dallas, and hello, Brother B.
Oh, Brother B was good. Hey. Welcome to the House of Fun. Thanks for coming here. It's good to have you on board, Keys.
Much like on the video. And do you think there's going to be an upset out of the top three fights on the main card?
And if so, who or where?
Yes. If so, which one?
Tell me,
Or
keen to see which one it would be. Because it could be
yeah.
Stipe beating Jones.
I know. If it comes down to the main event and Bo Nickal and Charles Oliveira picked up wins, I'm gonna.
What would that do? That would break the UFC. If Stipe beats Jones, that's literally like the one eventuality no one ever perceived. We just thought, yeah, we know it's gonna work out. We're all counting him out already, hoping we asking for Jones versus Aspinall. But if Stipe beats Jones, then really we've been asking for the wrong guy.
need to be having words with the MMA gods. Be like, you guys chose violence.
Yeah, exactly. You know?
You
Literally just they got a sense of humor. Sense of humor.
But I was tapping into your energy because I knew there was going to be an upset. I just was feeding off the wrong channel.
Wow. Let's have a look at this then. The main event, Jon Jones, red corner, 27-1. The GOAT, that is. He's been back now for a couple of years. We've only seen him fight Cyril Gane, but that's his second fight now in the heavyweight division, and it's going to be up against the legend, that is Stipe Miocic, and that's 20-4. Last time we saw Stipe, he was battling it out gruesomely with Francis Ngannou. And it's been a minute since he's been back.
Cool.
Boy, it's good to have him back. I am curious as to what kind of aged fighter we might be having. Will these legends be fighting as good as they've always have? Or would we be seeing two old men going at it? That's the question. But how did you think something like this was going to match up? Is it pretty evident that Jon Jones is going to really have his way here? Is he going to be using grappling, or is he just going to keep it to striking? I guess he gets to decide, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with this fight is, we're seeing an older Stipe.
Yeah.
We've not seen it since 2021 when he got flatlined by Francis Ngannou. On the other hand, we're seeing a Jon Jones at heavyweight, which still has questions because he went out there and dominated Cyril Gane, got the takedown and submitted him in quick succession. We never really got to see how well he looked on the feet. And in this fight, we're going to see that, especially against another heavyweight. So I feel like Stipe used to wrestle in college as well, I believe, same as Jon. I don't think he's better than Jon in wrestling, pure wrestling on its own. I do think that Jon is better than him in that area. Striking wise is all boxing from Stipe, whereas Jones likes to implement kicks and he likes to do that turning side kick to the knees, which is gruesome. But in terms of who wins it in terms of striking, I don't know. But seeing Jon throw kicks at heavyweight is going to be weird when he's much slower than what he was at light heavyweight.
We never got to see much, did we, of Jones at heavyweight? You know, his only feature at heavyweight was with Cyril Gane, and you know, thank you Cyril Gane for giving us all of about 2 minutes of the guy. You know, we really didn't get a chance to see.
Annoyed with
we needed
performance.
Cyril to test his mettle, so we knew what kind of Jon Jones's strengths were and weaknesses were at the class. But after fighting Cyril Gane, we still none the wiser. You know, we could say, oh, Jon Jones superior, but I just feel like Cyril Gane was just some kind of not really on this game that day.
No, I think he was mentally beaten heading into that fight. I'll go back and say it, and again, I just feel like the aura that Jones brings and the self belief that he has in himself is enough to throw a fighter off their game. And that's what I saw in that fight. It wasn't Cyril Gane, and I
Yeah,
think he
Cyril
knows
Gane
that
was
as
not
well.
in his game at all. True that. All right, fair. Um, so then, look, it's been a while since we've seen both these guys. I would probably argue that none of their previous performances were that satisfying or exciting. Of course, it's good
True.
enough to get the belt and have a win. Still wasn't satisfied by the performance. What's the biggest worries with Stipe that we should probably be aware of? Like, is he really going to be rusty, or you know, he does look old.
It's exactly that. I mean, it is whether or not you believe ring rust is a thing. I think there will be an element of that, but then also he's had all this time off to kind of rest and heal his body properly. So, I mean, look, you can make comparisons to you've got Mike Tyson fighting a 28-year-old this weekend,
Yeah,
you
just
know,
true.
and he looks pretty good at the moment. When he's hitting pads, all right, he's not going to be like prime Mike Tyson, but he makes he's old. He's old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's making Stipe look young, and it's crazy. We're still thinking that Stipe is going to be, really old heading into this John Jones fight. It's possible, but yeah, I think it mostly come down to ring rust, not age. I feel.
Yeah, yeah, valid, fair enough. All right, shall I have a look at the gauges and see how this one matches up on the paper?
Yeah.
All right.
Salute Wales. I'll see you in house.
What's up,
Your
Wales?
predictions in for this awesome main event that we have this weekend.
Let's see what you got. Okay, cool. We're looking at striking. Who's gonna have the advantage there?
Ooh, difficult. Again, with a slower John Jones throwing kicks, I'm not too sure. You know, Stipe's got some great boxing and great hands. If he's able to get him close and just makes it a boxing affair,
Yeah.
then he might best John. And let's not forget, John got pieced up by Dominic Reyes, edged out a decision. All right, it was time ago.
That was
But
true.
who's a better striker?
Yeah, and
Ricardo.
true that was wild. Dominic Reyes was doing it. It was doing it in that one.
Striking is a horrible one.
Yeah.
Grappling wise, I'll give to John.
John will get grappling. Power.
Yeah. Power, I actually kind of want to give to Stipe in this.
Stipe maybe the power. I did see how Stipe was able to sap the power of Francis Ngannou by wrestling him down to the ground. You might say that Francis had power, but Stipe used his weight so effectively in that wrestling that there's no power for Francis Ngannou to use. I thought it was beautiful how he did that. I would say speed would probably rest with Jones.
Yeah.
And cardio. Stipe.
Oh, cardio's a horrible one.
Yeah, I mean,
Both guys
not
are durable.
seen enough from Jones.
Both guys are durable as hell. Especially with Miocic in, is it the DC fight or both DC fights? The fight where he stopped DC late, he was able to. I think he may have dropped the first 2 rounds and came out strong, a round or so. Yeah, I think cardio is a very tricky one in this. Might just be John. Who's going to be training harder out of the two? John's a workhorse.
What do you think? Definitely John then, yeah?
I think John might edge it. Might edge it. For me.
Okay,
Boom, boom,
fair.
boom. Back.
Which case, let's put him down. And then striking, we never squared that one. To be fair,
It's just 2 for 2 at the moment.
probably what's going to make it all the difference.
See, this fight I think is actually closer than what people think.
Yeah.
You know, it might just all come down to a mindset thing. I'm hoping it's more competitive than what people are expecting.
And I've not seen a mindset like John Jones's before. It's been so on point. It's been so good. And I always thought it's always sometimes mind games when a fighter is so ready to fight you, and then you just delay the fight by like X amount of months. It just kind of says, no, you don't fight me when you're ready. You fight me when I'm ready. And that's a bit of a power play almost sometimes.
Yeah, I think both guys were doing that at one point.
Yeah.
Probably Stipe a while ago.
You fight me on my time, not your time.
Yeah, but recently it's definitely John. Of course, John was healing on injuries and everything, not all that.
How do you beat a fighter? How do you increase your chances against a fighter who's more primed than you are right now? Just delay them so they kind of fall a bit out of their prime.
Yeah. Do you know what I also like coming into this is the fact that it's not Stipe trying to get under John's grill. He called him a bitch. All right, that was the only thing that he did.
Yeah.
But I love it. Like on the sideline, you've got Tom Aspinall that's picking at Jones, and you've got the fans that are also picking at Jones because
to be fair,
Tom
Jones is fighting on all corners.
He is. Yeah. He 100% is. It's like Aspinall's fighting Miocic's corner here, you know. And if there's anything to affect John, it could be that. I mean, look, John's I think mentally tough, and he's mentally strong. I do believe that, and I don't think it's going to affect him too much, but that's the best chance. I think it's just Tom Aspinall from the sideline.
All right. In that case, I'm going to put this one to bed by saying I reckon Jones might have the striking, siding with the favorite in it. But you think effectively if there was an X factor to this bout, it will come down to the mental warfare between the two. And the fact that Jones is fighting on all fronts. Stipe is just going to be you know what I mean? He's just going to be that silent killer. He's like, yeah, that's right.
Is there
Jones.
pressure on Stipe? Is it?
Focus on Aspinall.
There's no
focus
pressure
on the fans. And Stipe's just going to come in and get that upset, which you've been feeling's been the upset omen that's been around the top 3 in the card.
Oh.
It's just no one's looking. He's a dark horse. No one's watching him. No one's watching Stipe.
People have forgotten, I think, just how good Stipe was.
Yeah.
And we're all expecting an older, withered Stipe, but who knows? We're not going to know until that cage door closes at the end of the day which way it's going to go.
War. I'd love to see it, to be fair. I'd love to see it. I'd just be like, yo, wouldn't that be wild?
Yeah. It's like in Unbedded. I have not watched all of Embedded. I've only seen little clips here and there. It's like one moment it's just, you know, John Fat just dealing with all these fans who think Tom Aspinall deserves a shot on one hand, and then you've got Stipe who's actually pulling pranks on his missus instead, like in the car on the phone. Like it's just crazy. I need to watch it all, to be fair.
Do you think John Jones can rest in peace if he doesn't fight Tom Aspinall? Let's say he beats Stipe and he retires. Can he rest in peace?
Clearly not, because there has been some conversations or people have been putting out the idea of Jones retiring, relinquishing the belt, and then fighting Alex Pereira for BMF. I've got a feeling that both parties want to entertain that. I think Pereira's game for it, and there is a part of Jones that's actually quite intrigued by that.
Or BMF?
Yeah, and fighting Alex Pereira. They're doing some kind of BMF thing. I mean, I guess that's the only thing that the UFC can do, right? You prevent Jones from holding up the division, and holding up Tom Aspinall. You give Tom Aspinall the undisputed title straight off the bat because he pretty much deserves it. He's the #1 guy, etc., etc. From now on, it's just Jones is only sticking around for big money fights, and then he's going off into the distance. So you strip him from the belt, you make him fight this legacy fight against Pereira, but the UFC need to put a belt on the line, so they probably would put a BMF belt.
Create another BMF, or
I'm
just
saying.
like keep one and just transfer it over.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. People
they do that.
holding that title, really.
Yeah,
Should just be a one night thing.
one night only.
You know? Yeah,
right.
you shouldn't be like a fighter just defending it. What? You know?
Oh well.
But yeah, that's my take on it. I think it for John will see it as a winnable fight because he will know his wrestling's gonna be far superior than Alex's. That's all he'll need to do.
Yeah, true. Just look out for those hands, get on in, and it could be interesting.
And he'll see it as a challenge, and you know what John's like.
Yeah,
I think he thrives on a challenge, but he's smart at the same time. You know.
Yeah.
Tom Aspinall is a bigger threat, but he knows that, and he's avoiding that because he knows that is a big gamble to make that could potentially ruin his legacy or dampen his legacy.
Yeah. I mean, let's say Tom Aspinall does beat John Jones. Tom Aspinall's great, but does it take away from all that John Jones has done and achieved? He's still going to be 27-2.
Oh yeah, no,
8-2 at that point.
It doesn't, but I think fans have got a short-term memory.
Yeah,
you know, and Jones's activity speaks for itself. Really, people will, will just.
Well, he can always be wheeled out for the argument, and then it can be debated. But
sure.
But yeah.
All right.
That settles it then.
Oh, yeah.
What a night! Oh, what a night!
Damn.
Look, guys, thanks so much for joining us for this UFC 309 card. That was a breakdown here from Sai and JK. I know it says Ash on the screen, but don't be fooled. It's definitely JK. Jones versus Miocic. If you guys want to be watching this fight live with us at the ATF channel, then do come back on Sunday early morning. It'll be 3 a.m. over here in the UK. But if you're over in the stateside, it'll be Saturday night. Tuning in to the main card over here with the ATF crew, and we'll be watching it with you guys for all of the fun banter that comes with a pay-per-view event. So super exciting times ahead. And then after that, of course, what always follows is an aftermath from JK on the Tuesday following up after that. So do like and subscribe to make sure you're not missing anything that's to come and what's on the horizon. But for now, that's all from us, and we look forward to seeing more of you guys on the weekend. Keep it locked.
Jumping out.
Ciao for now. Bye.